up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to the WARFRAME video. So we have the first Devstream of 2024, and we got the full Devstream overview today. A little bit of a disappointing Devstream, to me at least, but we did get a ton of new information on big things coming up in WARFRAME next couple months. We got the INAROS Rework, new missions, some loot changes, and things of that nature. So let's get right into it. But before we do, make sure you're subbed to this channel. We do daily WARFRAME video uploads. We're recording this video live on stream right now. So if you want to come stop by the live stream sometime, be part of the creation process in these videos. Took a bunch of feedback from chat on what people's pain points were on this stream, because there was actually a lot of things people complained about, including me. So we'll be going over that. So let's get right into it. And yeah, I do really appreciate all the support on the videos recently, guys. It means a lot. I really do appreciate that. So without further ado, let's get into what the Devstream was about. And by the way, my bingo card did not go very well because Pablo was not only not wearing a cool video game shirt, but he also was not really telling us about Netrocell buffs. So let's just say I'm very disappointed about something specific here, and that's going to be involving Netrocell drops not being buffed. So let's get into it. Starting off with what you can expect in the new update, Dante Unbound, in March. So this is a picture of the new frame Dante, and not like Devil May Cry, more like Dante's Inferno. This is going to be a magical character that is going to have an exalted tome spellbook. And it looks like a gigantic Dorito, kind of like a diamond pyramid thing. This will be a new frame, though. It looks pretty cool. They'll have a special custom running animation that will fly around. You can equip it to other characters. And as far as what you can expect in this Dante Unbound update, it will be in March. The new frame Dante will be in there. There's a Styanax Deluxe skin already somehow. It's going to be 2 new Incarnon weapons, the Ruvoks and the Onos. And here's a picture of the Onos. It will be an Incarnon arm cannon. So here's the non-Incarnon form on the left, and on the right is the Incarnon form. So I guess it's like a grenade launcher into a arm cannon. So it looks really cool. Now, I don't know if this will be a shotgun or a rifle, so as far as which ribbon to get, if you're trying to get a ribbon for this in advance, don't know. If I had to guess, I'd probably say a shotgun, just from looking at that real quick. But they did call it a grenade launcher, so maybe, I don't know, dude. That's a hard thing to predict, but either way, it looks really cool. There will also be a new fist weapon that will incarnate into a claw, so from fist into claw, we'll see how the stances go, but they'll probably have very high stats as well. And also, there was no mention of Incarnon Genesis. These are the only new Incarnons they showed us, and they are new weapons. So that means that you will not have like a Gorgon ribbon or whatever, or a like Latron ribbon. It will be new ribbons, and also they're new weapons technically too. So you'll probably get them from Lloyd and then upgrade them through that system, or maybe you'll just go to Cavallero like before anyway. But yeah, those are going to be the 2 new weapons. There will also be a new disruption node on the Sanctum Atomica tile set. So that means the Murmur, it will likely be a Murmur disruptor, what they're called, the Demolist. So get your anti-Narmer builds good to go, or Murmur, there's no Narmer here, and yeah, it's going to be pretty nice. Hopefully it's going to be a good Axie Relic farm, and maybe farm some other things too. So as far as other stuff in this new update, there will be a lab expansion. There will be 12 new tiles, or rather 12 new rooms for the Sanctum Atomica tile. And additionally, that means there's going to be probably more book spawn locations. Since we're getting disruption on the new tile, we'll be getting a bunch of new rooms, so new Voca spawn spots, new book spawn spots, etc., etc. Also, we're getting 10 to 11 new augment mods in this update, so get your reps saved up for day 1 of whenever this comes out. There will be a February Devstream that'll give us more information, but for right now, this is what we have to go off of. But there's also more in this update, not just this tab right here. We have the INAROS Rework in March. Yeah, before Caliban, before Loki, before Valkyr, INAROS is getting a rework. And what Pablo wanted to make it very clear here, it will not be a 0 to hero rework like Hydroid was. Hydroid was like one of the least played frames in the game. Now he's like really good. Pablo wanted to make sure that we are clear on this, that it will not be a Hydroid level rework. That being said, he's like, yeah, people play him a lot, and they don't even use his abilities. So maybe Aniros will have some actual abilities after this rework, which is what I really do want him to have. He doesn't have to become the most OP, level 10,000 frame, but as long as I can actually push his ability buttons and not feel bad about it, that would be a good step in the right direction. But yeah, they're calling it a rework. Also, next line on this tab right here, Archon Shard Expansion, Ascent Fusion. If you've been playing this game for a while, You might remember that we've been like, oh man, I got so many normal shards, but not enough Tau shards. And we've been asking for, like, I need shard fusion. They are actually finally adding shard fusion. With a caveat. It will take 4 normal shards to make 1 Tau shard. And a lot of people are already calling this unusable. Now, I wouldn't call it unusable, but is 4 normal shards for 1 Tau shard kind of a little bit ridiculous? Yeah, I think so. I think it is. And it's going to take 100 Stella as well, the new resource from Sanctum Atomica, but not a big deal. I have like 15,000 of that. The bigger thing here is 4 normal shards for 1 Tau shard is a lot. That, if you calculate it, you'd be basically over a month to get 1 Tau shard, which to me is not that big of a deal because we're going from 0 to this. Because remember, there was no way to get guaranteed Tau shards before, but this is the first no RNG involved Tau shard system in the entire game. Because the way it is right now, it's like, get it from a Netrocell for like 2% drop rate, get it from your Archon Hunt with the pity system and all that, whatever drop rate ends up being. For this, you can do your call mission, get a red shard from Chipper. You can do your Archon Hunt, get unlucky, get a red normal shard. Every 2 rotations, you'll get a guaranteed Tau shard if you do your Archon Hunt every week. So to me, looking at it like that, you throw in the Archon shard from Chipper, you throw in the Archon shard from the call mission, or from the Archon Hunt. It's not that bad to look at it from that way, but also that's you sacrificing all the shards you got from those multiple weeks to get 1 shard. So if you really want to min-max a particular frame, this will be great for you. If you have a ton of extra shards, this will be great for you. But if you're someone that wants shards on every frame, this will not be great for you because you're not going to have enough shards. You've got shards on frames already. So yeah, a lot of players would like this to be reduced to 3 shards. I think that is not needed, but would definitely be nice. I think 2 shards would be way too low because you think about it, on Blue Week, there is a blue shard from Chipper and a blue shard from the Archon Hunt. You'd be getting a guaranteed blue Tau shard every time, which I think would be ridiculous. But yeah, for right now, at least we're getting this. I would like it to be reduced to 3. I don't think it will happen, but I would like it to be reduced to 3. Okay. I also think that people calling this unusable at 4 need to like really get a reality check. Okay, you're doing the call mission every week. If it was reduced to 3 or 2, you'd be getting a Tau shard like almost every time this shows up. So I think that would be ridiculous. But I also think this is also a little bit ridiculous how many shards this is. So good system we've been asking for since launch, but it's not really the best way to do it, I'd say. But still, better than nothing. Fortuna Syndicate Economy Rebalance. If you've been trying to grind up Fortuna and you're like, these medical debt bonds just don't drop, they're going to be rebalancing that. So more of a newer mid-game player kind of thing. But that is a good thing. People that keep complaining to me, I don't want to farm Fortuna, but I want to farm Profit Taker. There you go. Stat audit for the Arsenal. This will also be a balance pass, I guess you could call it. No mentioned nerfs. They said they're going to probably hold back, or they're going to talk about the Companion 2.0, like Part 2 thing until some other time. But basically, stat audit for Arsenal. Things like slam damage. Things like, finisher damage. Those things are going to be, like the stats that nobody really goes for, will be getting reviewed to make sure they're actually good. And maybe some things that are too good will get looked at as well. So you'll see about that. Moving on to some important stuff here. More variety with systematic content. They're adding new axis fissures across more regions. And what that means to me is that it means they're adding axis fissures to the new tile sets that don't have fissures. So that would mean Zeramon and Sanctum Atomica. And that would also mean that potentially there could be a Void Cascade fissure on Twofold Commons. An endless mission, great for farming arcanes. Could also be good for farming relic or opening relics, hopefully. But reminder, this will be axis only. So stock up on the axis relics. Also, we're getting a new disruption node on the Sanctum Atomica, so there can be a disruption fissure right here. Now that they're adding disruption to Sanctum Atomica, now to me, I'm like, hey, DE, can we get disruption in the Void? Disruption in the Void would be cool. How about disruption on Zeramon too? More disruption nodes is great. Also, hopefully the new Sanctum Atomica disruption is an axis farm, because we're gonna be needing a lot of axis farms to do these new relics or new fissures. So very cool there. But also not the end of the world. I still would like, how about like a Zeramon RB too, things like that. But good stuff nonetheless. This will be in March, unfortunately. So waiting an entire month for this stuff. Steel Path bounties for plants like Cavia and the Zeramon. And Steel Path incursions across more regions. Deviri quality of life push, so like less buggy Deviri, hopefully. Not really much to go off of there. Now, we also have some things where Eclipse is going to be getting changed, and DE actually wants your feedback on how they should change Eclipse. Basically, the way it works is DE is finally fed up with the the glitchiness and the reliability of Eclipse. So for example, on the planes, you're always a maximum damage buff. On Kavia, you're on a maximum DR buff. And on weird plans like this, you're just in between. You don't even know what buff you have. So they're going to be changing Eclipse, and they want your feedback on it. Most players seem to be saying, make the ability a toggle, and then also nerf the helmet ability if that's what you have to do. Because a lot of the helmet abilities in this game that are damage focused are cut in half stats-wise. Eclipse is only cut in half by like 20, or it's only cut by 25%. So they can maybe nerf that down a little bit more too. But dude, honestly, whatever you do to helmet Eclipse, I don't really care. But they seem like they have to change this somehow. So if you want to leave your feedback, feel free to go do that on the forum post. I'll link in the description down below. Now, as far as some smaller things that'll be getting changed in this update, we have Kubrow Fur getting a rework to look better. That's great. They seem pretty happy about this. I know a lot of people are worried about this. Like, my Kubrow looks terrible, basically. So how do we fix that? Here you go. They're going to fix it for you. So good stuff there. Make those Kubrows look cool. And here's a preview of Dante's ability. So the way the new frame Dante will work is that his abilities will be basically writing the lines of his spell. So first ability, think of like the fire spell. Second ability, the ice spell. Third ability, the wind spell. Combine the ice and the fire spell, push his ulti, and it will be a fire and ice spell. Combine the ice and the fire spell, it's a fire, or it's an ice and wind spell, like that kind of stuff. You can make different types of versions of his abilities. Kind of like Invoker from Dota, if you've ever played Dota before. Or I guess if you play League of Legends, I think the new character is called Hawaii. The new League of Legends Hawaii character. Kind of like that. You combine special abilities. So cool stuff there. They're also going to have a flying running animation. And as another quality of life change, we're getting unsticky corners. And I think a clip will be the best way to show this. So basically, if you are running through a mission, you get stuck in like a little box that you're running past. That will be prevented. Do we have a clip of this or just talking about it? Okay, so here you go. So you just run past this box. You will not get stuck on this box anymore. But you get stuck in the box right now. It's going to be a lot better in actual mission to see this than it actually is in a clip. But yeah, this will be a great change for just running through missions quickly. Probably won't affect Titania too much, but it'll affect Gauss, I bet. Gauss gets stuck on stuff sometimes, so cool there. And as far as one of the last things to go over here, we have a new enemy for the new disruption for the Murmur disruption. This thing will take your disruption keys and teleport away with them. It will also be a mini loot goblin, kind of thing like a treasurer. You kill this thing, it will drop, will hopefully drop the disruption key it stole from you. It will also drop a special item that will be used for the new update. So pretty good looking update as far as all this stuff we were just looking at. A couple of features where it's like, okay, do we really need to have... Oh, actually I forgot to mention something. So here's one of the main problems with this. And we actually reviewed this in depth before the video came out just to make sure that it was entirely understood. The Netra cells are not being buffed. Okay? It was made very clear that Netra cell feedback they're aware of the Netra cell feedback, that we don't like the drop rates of it. But here is how they're solving it, guys. There will be a new mission type in this March update that will be a... Let me get the exact terminology I wrote down. It will be a replacement to Netra cells, I believe. Okay, a new activity can be run instead of some of your Netra cells. That's Pablo's words. I'm using quotes here because this stuff sounds really super early on and rough, but this activity will give you a guaranteed legendary arcane, but no mention of any shards here. Also, the Netra cells themselves are not being changed from what I can tell, so that wouldn't exactly call us a Netra cell buff, but you're going to be able to get guaranteed legendary arcanes from this new mission that will be in March. So your Netra cells will still be exactly the same from what they look like, but we'll get more information on that in February. There will be a February dev stream. So as far as right now, all you're going to have in February in Warframe is just Star Days. We don't know when Star Days will start, probably like mid-February. But yeah, Star Days will be going almost all of February, and that is where you basically get the Angel Wings ephemera and some like rep, I guess. It's not going to be really great. It will not be a ton of stuff to do, but in March there will be stuff to do. So yeah, not the best dev stream. Major complaints here. The fact that I have to wait an entire month for this because I want this stuff. The fact that Netra cells are not actually getting buffed is crazy to me, but maybe Netra cells are just too easy in their eyes. And I'm guessing the Legendary Arcane guaranteed mission will be a lot harder. Also, four shards for one fusion is a little bit crazy to me, but I also do every call mission, so it's not as big of a deal to me. But some people that do call missions every week are still annoyed by this. It's understandable. And then, yeah, I'm surprised that there's no Pets 2.0. like Pets Rework 2.0. They said they will talk about that more in the future, so the speed of nerf was not really talked about. Maybe they could just completely forget about it, but they probably won't. And yeah, it was a relatively okay dev stream, but not as crazy as I was hoping for. So, hope you guys found this video fun and helpful. There's more coming out, you know. It's a good time to be a Warframe player, but yeah, we're still waiting another month for the next update. So, go grind out the stuff you have already. If you want to go... There was no Tigress Incarnate announced, unfortunately, so that's also another big bummer. So, if we could have got like something small in February to tie us over until this, would have been great, but it does not seem like that will be the case, because Star Days rarely has anything new, to be honest. So, oh well, I'll see you guys in the next video. I appreciate the support, and take it easy. Peace!